everybody, how's it going? Today, let's take a detailed look at the 2013 Bentley Continental GT Speed. And this is going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the GT Speed. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip and go over the performance data, and show you a bunch of the unique aspects of the interior as well as exterior. And before we begin, I'd like to give a big thanks and special shout out to Tobin Bentley, located in Las Vegas, Nevada, for allowing me to come out and film the 2013 Bentley Continental GT Speed. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and start her up, let her run. As with all new Bentleys, the Continental GT comes standard with an integrated smart key access system. By just keeping the key fob in your pocket and locating the little black buttons on the door handle, you're able to wirelessly lock and unlock the vehicle. To lock, just tap it once. 2 beeps indicate locking, then after waiting a second, just touch the touch-sensitive pad behind the handle, and it automatically unlocks the vehicle. The doors are also auto self-closing if you fail to close them all the way via a little suction mechanism. And you can also see some of the laminated glass here for a little bit of extra safety. This particular exterior color, a light metallic gray, is known as Hallmark and features a unique diamond-stitched beluga leather interior specific to the GT Speed. To start the vehicle, you can do it 2 different ways, via conventional key and ignition over here, or via remote push-button ignition. All you have to do is put your foot on the brake, hit the console-mounted button to start. An amazing potent sound from that W12. The 2013 GT Speed features speed proportional power assist steering and a unique 3-spoke supple leather-wrapped steering wheel with pretty good thickness. Also, silver color accented stitching found throughout the interior and some polished aluminum accenting over the switch gears. As far as the transmission, standard and only option is an 8-speed electronically controlled ZF automatic with sport mode, as well as manual shiftability over here and with the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. Put the vehicle in reverse, and an integrated backup camera automatically appears with guidance lines that automatically adjust as you turn the wheel. Beautifully accented and polished aluminum and leather with a knurled aluminum finish up top and an aluminum housing. And so we're going to flip on the automatic headlamps, fog lamps, as well as the hazards. Naturally, all 4 windows are fully automatic. And we're going to check out the exterior, shall we? As the name suggests, the 2013 Bentley Continental GT Speed is officially the fastest production model by the company, touting a top speed of 205 miles per hour. While close in performance numbers to the more powerful Continental Super Sports, the Speed still holds bragging rights with top speed, even if it's only by about 1 mile per hour. Bentleys have always been some of the most stately and elegant motor cars on the market, but as luxurious and polished as they are, their real history is with performance. Unlike Rolls-Royce, Bentley brands itself for drivers, for those wanting an exhilarating driving experience and sheer opulence. They meshed these historical ideals when they created the original GT Speed back in 2008, The original Speed embodied the classic elegance of the Continental with its traditional yet modern designs, and turned the dial up a notch with revised steering, suspension, electronics, as well as new engine internals that were not only lighter but strengthened it to give it 600 horsepower, at the time up 48 from the standard car. 2013 continues this philosophy and embraces the revised styling that was introduced in last year's Continental. With unique fascias, exhaust outlets, wheels, and a blacked-out grille with the signature polished mesh, the Speed gives a dose of sport with luxury. Nicely finished off up front with LED-accented bi-xenon headlamps and adaptive cruise control. I'd also like to note that you're able to adjust the ride height of the GT. While the Speed is in fact lower than the standard car, and we'll highlight that in just a little bit, you're able to raise or lower the vehicle as desired via the push of a button depending on your road conditions. At the time of this video, it was set to one of the higher settings, but looking at the pictures you can get more of an accurate take on the normal ride height of the Speed. The GT Speed comes with unique 21-inch, 10-spoke forged aluminum alloy wheels wrapped in Pirelli P0 275/35 tires. As far as the brakes, there's two different choices. Standard brakes are the same that you would find on a typical Continental, consisting of 4-wheel discs measuring 15.9 inches in front and 13.2 inches in the rear with 8-piston calipers. For super stopping power, you can opt for the optional cross-drilled carbon silicon carbide or carbon ceramic brakes. They're 16.5 inches in front and 14 in the rear. With the increased braking power, they're also lighter by about 44 pounds. As far as the suspension, it's fully independent with double wishbones up front and a multi-link rear suspension with anti-roll bars. The GT Speed is further tuned to give it a tighter feel. The body has been dropped by 0.4 inches or about 10 millimeters and rides on unique springs, anti-roll bars, and bushings. They added 15% more camber to the front and firmed up the spring rates by about 45% in front and 33% in the rear. The reprogrammed driver adjustable dampers go along with revised steering to give more feedback and force, and the anti-roll bar stiffness has been firmed up by 53%. All topped off by an all-wheel drive system for the benefits of all-weather handling that makes the GT a better contestant for daily driving versus other exotics in this class. While there are many performance enhancements, the body sculpture helps it cut through the wind better to achieve that lofty top speed. Along with the lower stance, the underbody has also been smoothed. The front clip allows easier passage of air, and the wheels themselves also help cut through the wind. Downforce is further enhanced by a deployable rear spoiler, which I'll highlight a little bit later. To compensate for the increased power, Bentley also had to revise the radiators and cooling systems to make it more efficient, and at its top speed of 205 miles per hour, the engine emits about 260 kilowatts of heat that's cooled by 4,000 liters of air going through the radiators each second. Another interesting tidbit is that at a full stop from its top speed, it requires 10 megajoules of energy to be dissipated from the brakes, which, interestingly enough, is enough energy to power an average house for 6 hours. And finishing off the rear is a unique dual exhaust setup. Bentley describes it as being rifled, which indicates the flute pattern inside each inlet. Overall length is 189.2 inches with a width of 76.5 inches and a height of 55.3 inches. Total curb weight is around 5,115 pounds.
And we're going to pop the hood.
Power comes from an all-aluminum twin-turbocharged and intercooled dual overhead cam 48-valve W12 with direct fuel injection. Simply speaking, the W12 is essentially two 15-degree V6 engines coupled by a shared crankshaft. The new Speed features a revised Bosch engine management system that closely monitors timing between the spark, fuel, and boost, at about 180 million calculations a second, quite astonishing. Turbo boost is also increased by 4 to 28 psi. All of this leads to a total of 616 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 590 pound-feet of torque at 2,000 RPM. That's 16 more than the original Speed and 49 horsepower over the standard W12. Not to mention a 0 to 60 time of 4 seconds flat and the 205 mile/hour top speed. Overall, it's also more efficient with 15% less CO2 emissions and 12% better fuel economy. With a 24-gallon tank on premium gas, this means a miles per gallon rating of around 12 city, 19 highway. The GT Speed comes standard with the Mulliner driving specification, which includes signature perforated diamond quilted leather on the seats as well as the door panels. drilled aluminum pedals, and plenty of textured aluminum pieces found throughout. This Speed has the optional carbon fiber dash treatment, where darkened aluminum is also available. And to create each GT as a work of art, there's 17 different colors of leather choices, including two-tone color schemes. You can change the color of the seat belts, the stitching, the piping, you name it, to suit the individual. The new seats in the latest Continental generation are lighter and narrower and feel more sporty than before while still staying supple. There's also a slight increase in rear seat room. Build and materials used, as expected, is stunning. There's about 10 leather hides found in each car covering virtually every surface. If it's padded, then it's wrapped in leather. Simple as that. And these seats nicely finished off with white color accent stitching, with the Bentley moniker stitched into the back of the headrest.
All of your power accessories are located down below, including your standard adjustment, 3-person memory, power leg extension for taller passengers, as well as 4-way power lumbar adjustment and active massage.
As you come down the door threshold, leather lining the entire thing except for the aluminum plate coming across the threshold. Also, a unique plate down below with the Speed logo. Coming on into the vehicle, you'll notice the unique drilled aluminum sport pedals as part of the Mulliner driving specification, and there's also a standard driver knee airbag, a full power tilt telescoping steering wheel with auto tilt function, and you'll notice the unique carbon fiber trim coming across the speedometer cluster found across the vehicle as well, and the stitched leather on the dash. Also nicely accented with a full perforated leather headliner.
So let's go ahead and see if she sounds. Very melodic yet deep burly sound, a little bit of turbo whistle, and extremely smooth. And upon closing the door, to make the seatbelt a little bit easier to reach, a powered mechanism automatically brings it out towards you. It'll retract after a little while, but also if you open the door so you don't catch it coming out. The GT Speed comes standard with a premium 8-speaker surround sound system fed through this LCD touchscreen navigation mobile media telemetrics interface. Also a standard satellite radio as well as HD radio. Side curtain airbags, leather accented grip handles, leather wrap visor, auto dimming rear view mirror, and in the top stack here, accented in leather as well as black piano veneer, you have your garage home link as well as controls for your interior illumination. Up front are your microphones for a hands-free Bluetooth telephone so all the passengers can be equally heard from either side of the vehicle. Absolutely beautiful attention to detail with the stitched leather on the dash, nicely blended in with the black piano veneer coming down the center console. Beautiful metal air registers, accented in aluminum and chrome finish, with chrome finished organ stop controls that also have a little knurled finish on it, as you saw on the shift knob, and a few other of the various switchgear in the Continental. Analog clock front and center. And down below the radio you have your dual zone climate control with true dual adjustment. You have independent temperature adjustment for each side as well as automatic, as well as independent zone selection. Front and rear defrost, recycling through an air filtration system, as well as your fan speed in the middle. The multimedia system is pretty easy to get used to. This is your main radio screen where you have your preset stations here, selecting between your different bands, satellite, AM, FM, stations, presets, scan, turning the display off, as well as tune for manual tuning coming across the frequency band. Down below, tone, for all of your equalizer adjustments as well as surround sound settings. Your other various media options including your Bluetooth hands-free streaming, iPod auxiliary integration, in-dash CD player, as well as loading up MP3 files onto the system. Your Bluetooth telephone, navigation. Your destination input can be accessed from this screen or via the nav button over here. 3D, you also have your radio data down below where you can access your presets. And like you saw earlier, this just expands the navigation options a little bit more, checking your positions, the option, or your route preference.
Route guidance is not active.
Once you press that, it'll repeat the navigation commands if you have one active at the time. And all the way over to the right is your vehicle settings. You have your tire pressure that you can set up depending on which speed you're going to be traveling, the tire info, as well as setting the tire pressure depending on which set of tires that you have on it, as well as your system setup up top. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell for the navigation system in the Continental GT Speed. Now coming down the flowing leather center console meets into a black piano veneer center stack with integrated cup holders. Now with the Speed you have driver adjustable damper settings. When you press that, it brings up the screen up front where you can gear it more towards sport or comfort. Pneumatically raise and lower the vehicle, as well as activate the rear spoiler. Your power heated mirror controls are located in the center, as well as the power folding function. As well as your electronic parking brake, pull up to activate, put your foot on the brake, push down to deactivate, and a little bit of storage down below. You also have a leather and color accented stitch center console with different cubbies, plenty of feedback, gives a nice solid feel, as well as a little integrated cellular phone, and a 12-volt power outlet with a little bit of storage. And as far as the multifunction steering wheel, off to the right you have your radio, telephone, and hands-free voice commands. Help.
Important voice commands for the radio are select station, select frequency, select band, and start scan.
Off to the left you have your cruise control and or advanced cruise control setting, which is the laser guided cruise control, so the vehicle will automatically accelerate or decelerate on the highway depending on if somebody's going to speed up or slow down in front of you, so you don't have to disengage your cruise control or actually mess with it. Right here is your controls for your integrated driver information system located in the middle of the speedometer cluster. Go between your trip computer, advanced cruise control, radio, navigation, phone, as well as system settings. Use the little toggle switch to go through your personalizable options. And click down to go between the sub-menus. And a beautiful gauge cluster accented by a little bit of chrome and the carbon fiber trim. Wonderfully handcrafted automobile. Go ahead and shut her down. And let's go and check out the back seat. To gain access to the back seat, just pull up on the aluminum handle, locks in place, and automatically slides forward. There's also a power button here if you wanted to manually slide it back and forth. The Diamond stitching also matches into the back. Entry and exit isn't too hard, but room may be a little bit limiting for taller passengers. Now, what's nice about the seats is if it's coming back and it detects an object, or your legs for example, it'll automatically slide it back up so you don't get squished or anything. Nice little safety feature. There's also some cutouts to give it a little bit more wiggle room. Full-length center console, accented in black Pinot veneer in this particular model. The lack of a B-pillar also gives a nice seamless, smooth motion to the back. Leather stitched package tray. Coat hook up top, your rear illumination. "12-volt power outlet, and some cup holders. So let's go and check out the rest of the vehicle, shall we?
Open up the full power liftgate and you'll find a modest 12.6 cubic feet of cargo space. There's plenty of bright work located inside with the cargo tie downs, and it's also lined in very plush, thick carpeting.
Same power adjustments on the passenger seat that you find on the driver's. Illuminated velour lined glove box with your iPod integration up above.
The GT Speed comes from a long pedigree of hand-built performance-oriented dream machines. As they say, things get better with age, and with the technology and craftsmanship available today, they definitely have a passion all their own.
Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed this detailed look at the 2013 Bentley Continental GT Speed. Be sure to stay tuned next time. There's a lot more where that came from. Take care everybody.